So, this is part two of the story that I started sharing about witnessing the aftermath of a lynching in North Carolina when I was 7. Part two is that it was not just the lynching, there were churches being burned down to the ground, and crosses being burned in people's yards, and pipe bombs through windows to houses and businesses. It was a lot of racial tension. When we finally went back to school, we had the National Guard in the hallways with rifles, and we had hippies in the classroom putting us in circles to talk about and process how we felt about these changes. And I think that's the fatal flaw. I think North Carolina thought they could teach the kids and that it would change the country, change the sentiment. It didn't. Kids who went home to hate continued to go home to hate. And they're raised in that, so what do you expect's going to happen with them? And I think that's why it's festered and bubbled over all these years later. And we have to stop it. We have to rein it in. Because in addition to Trey Reed, who was the 21-year-old at Delta State who was found hanging, the police investigators said there was no foul play. They didn't see any evidence of that. So Congressman Benny Thompson has called in the FBI and asked them to investigate. He feels they'll have less bias in the case. And so hopefully that will yield it. Well, he wasn't the only person who was hung that day. There was also a homeless man. Corey Zuckitis, who is a white man who was homeless and has a history of substance abuse, who was found hanging. And this isn't the only crime against the homeless that's been unleashed since the executive order for cleaning up the streets was to institutionalize people. This has put in this idea. Also, a Fox News host last week made a comment about how the homeless should be lethally injected. And that or having mental health or illness or substance abuse, these are all treatable issues if we had treatment available. And people could access it. There was in Minneapolis, 2 homeless encampments were shot up. And over 13 people were injured, and at least 5 were critically ill from that shooting. And this all needs to change. We have to, instead of furthering the hate, we have to change it and quarrel it back in. Because if hate thrives, it's destructive, and it's going to cause more and more problems and more hate. It spreads quickly. So I think we need we're a long way from the diversity education levels that we should have, and we need to see that as our strength. Diversity is our strength, not our weakness, and we have to stop this move toward saying that white people have been the victim of racism. I don't think so. Institutional racism is real, and it's happened, and we have to stop it. So there was a movie made about what was going on when I was a kid. There's the preacher's son from the town next to mine, and he wrote this book called Blood Done Sign My Name. And it's been made into a movie, and you can find that movie on Tubi, which is its free app to download, and it's free TV that you can stream. And Blood Done Sign My Name is currently playing on that platform. So I encourage you to watch it, because I think it gives insight into that period and time of what was going on from a first-hand narrative perspective. Hate's been unleashed, and we got to find a way to stop it. And that comes through unity and community. And so I really hope that we can change this course. And I hope I get to do the diversity education that I want to do, because I think it's needed and it will help. Thanks for listening.